Hi everyone, Pastor Steve here. We're going through the Bible again. We're going to look at Genesis chapter 10 today. Because Genesis chapter 10 has a lot of genealogy and a lot of what would be for some of us hard names to say, and I think we can do an explanation rather than just read every verse out for today, do sort of two videos in one. We're going to tackle it a little bit differently today. We're not going to read out the chapter and then do an explanation tomorrow. We're going to do it all in one. So this is an account of the descendants of the sons of Noah, and from this, we get all the different nations of the world come out of these different sons and their descendants after the flood. It's been often referred to Genesis chapter 10 as the first League of Nations, because it talks about different nations here, their beginnings, their origins, and so forth, as they began to move out from where they came off the ark in the course of time. So there's quite a lot of history here. It's not just a few generations. It goes for quite some time. And Moses was the one who wrote down this League of Nations, if you like, as he was inspired by God to write down the history of mankind from Noah up into near his time as well, actually. So it goes through lots of different names. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it's basically telling us about the sons of Ham and the sons of Japheth and the sons of Noah's other son, all of Shem, and it's given us a bit of information there. Now, there are some names I just want to pick out here that might be familiar to you, might not be, but in verse 8, it tells us that Cush was the father of Nimrod, who became a mighty warrior on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. And the first centers of his kingdom were Babylon. All right, so there are two or three things I want to bring out about this guy, is that the kingdom of Babylon is associated with him. And in the next chapter, in chapter 11, we're going to be learning about the Tower of Babel. And most commentaries and most people that write about Nimrod, and it's a negative context, and Nimrod is considered to be the first sort of dictator in the world. So he became a mighty warrior, a mighty hunter, and he wasn't a godly man. He was a man that didn't really do things the way God wanted, and he set up his kingdom, which what was Babylon. And Babylon is always associated in the Bible with false religion, and also with idol worship, and also with rebellion against God. We've got the Babylon, the kingdom that was established later on in history, that was a center for all of this type of stuff. And also in the Bible, Babylon is referred to in the New Testament in the book of Revelation as a false church or a false religion. And so you associate Nimrod and Babylon, and you get a bit of an idea what drove this man. Many people believe that when the Tower of Babel was built, which we'll get into a bit more in the next video, that was sort of like what we see happening today, where they're trying to, the elites of our world are trying to have like a one world government, and they rule over us and tell us what we can and can't do, and they don't believe in democracy and so forth. We'll get into that a little bit more, but this is sort of the beginnings of this. Nimrod was obviously a very influential person, and he was not a godly man, and we see that often with people that rise to great power. They forget that God is more powerful than they are. So yeah, that's just giving us a bit of information here. Now, this is where all the nations began. And so these are the descendants. And from here, eventually, in Genesis 10 onwards, these nations would spread out over all the earth after the flood. Now, that didn't happen straight away, as Genesis chapter 11 will show us. So it's just a short video this time, and there's not a lot of extra information I can give you there, but that's just to give you a bit of groundwork for leading into Genesis 11, really, and we'll go a bit more of a deep dive into some of this stuff there. All right, God bless you. Have a great day.